So Labor has delivered its budget. The dissection begins as the winners and losers absorb what it means for them. The fallout will be debated, of course, for days. Already, there is a common theme among expert verdicts on Sky News budget coverage that it sounds too good to be true.
It is a fleeting budget, this one, in terms of the surplus, and it goes in exactly the wrong direction. It goes in the wrong direction because this is a government that can't help itself but to spend. And the truth of the matter is, in doing that, it creates a situation where it gives with one hand and takes away with the other.
What bothers me more than anything, it's those middle income earners. They are struggling themselves, and a lot of them will just be over that threshold where they won't receive anything, and those interest rates coming up continue to go up. That's really bothering me. There is nothing for them at all. It's not like we're trying to push them further down, and therefore a further gap between the rich and the poor, and that bothers me terribly.
Particularly around revenue, they've really just kicked the can down the road. You know, the changes to the petroleum resource rent tax, it's just tinkering at the edges.
At the moment, people are trying to kill the mining industry, which is the single greatest source of revenue for this country. Number one and number two exports come from mining, and they're trying to kill it. So it just does not make sense.
A real missed opportunity to fix some of those really pressing questions at the bottom of our income scale, and a widening inequality, because there's some real benefits up the top of the income scale for people who are quite wealthy.
This is what industry, union and business leaders made of last night's budget.
Job seeker tonight is still a poverty payment. It is still the lowest unemployment payment in the OECD.
For those people that try and say that wage growth is a problem, this budget shows the exact opposite.
This budget does nothing of note to address issues around productivity, around investment, around innovation and job growth. On those grounds, it's a missed opportunity.
This budget provides a first step for a real pathway to better use of nurses and midwives.
We've asked for funding for longer in-person consultations. We've asked for better funding models for wound care. All of these things have been listened to, and we're delighted the government has responded with funding.
So the budget tonight, it was a game changer for GPs and our patients.
Labor's budget is a betrayal of renters, job seekers and people doing it tough.
We're pleased to see ambitious migration targets being set. We think that this has been an area of positive reform.
Australia has a participation rate of 66%. New Zealand has 71%. Why is there a difference? Because in New Zealand, they let the pensioners work. We've got to win this policy, and anyone out there watching, write to Jim Chalmers and say, let the pensioners work.